Move over, Denzel.
Well, hello. Oh, why? It always has to be the one that you need. Hold on 1 second while I fix my earpiece because my little rubbery thing had came out. Why am I echoing? All right, hello. Okay. My little rubbery thing came out. I had to fix it. Okay. Anyway, hi, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for clicking on the video. Please share, subscribe, like. I'm begging for like, very begging for like, right? Because it pushes me in the algorithm, so whatever. Anyway, I got a couple things that I would like to talk about, and I'm gonna kind of be wandering along. So if you got sandals on, put on some hiking boots because we're gonna be here. Not for too long, but long enough, right? Long enough. I wanted to touch on a couple things that I saw in the news, like the whole Epstein thing, the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Um, what else did I want to speak on today? I want to talk. Yeah, so I want to talk on the Charlie Kirk thing. I want to talk on the Epstein thing. You know, Drake got a diss song with a dude named Yet, whatever. So he's still coming at Kendrick. Um, I guess enough is never enough, right? And then I don't know, excuse me. I don't know if I've told you guys, but I am in Houston. And we have like a serial killer or something like that. Some people are saying that it's not a serial killer. Some people are saying that it is a serial killer. I don't know, but I'm gonna bring to you what I have been brought. You get what I mean? And then we can go from there. You know, give me your thoughts on it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's a serial killer or not. I just think that we are in a time right now where all these people have done lost their damn mind. I'm talking about they just done lost their mind. They losing everything else, so why not your mind too, right? Let's see here. I might talk about Canada, Australia, and the UK announcing that they will officially recognize Palestine. So we'll put that there. I'm trying to see. You know, when you have like a lot of tabs open, and you just like, I don't even know why I got all these tabs open. So you just start, yeah, just start closing tabs because it's time to close those tabs. So let me close some of these tabs so I can get to where I actually need to be at. Oh, okay. I already did what I needed to do. But anyway, so let's get to it, right? So the first thing that I want to talk about is how Trump had all these people in a frenzy. I'm talking about a frenzy. So let me play this video.
the White House has confirmed that the newly $100,000 fee for H-1B visa applicants, which takes effect on Sunday, September 21st, will not affect current visa holders in any way. Now, the White House has reiterated that they can continue to leave and re-enter the United States as they always have. While the one-time visa fee will only apply to new visa applicants, this is the clarification that's coming from the White House. Now, what's important to understand is that US President Donald Trump signed the proclamation in an effort to curb what his administration says is an overuse of the program, which of course.
So basically, they they want to, keep people here, right? Like, I guess we have a lot of Americans that are just so smart. They're leaving the country. So, oh, my bad. That's okay.
Is for skilled foreign workers. Important to understand that a clarification has come in from the White House, in which the White House has said that the new $100,000 visa fee is for H-1B applicants, for fresh applicants, and does not impact current visa holders in any manner. Further, the White House has also reiterated, saying that applicants can continue to come in and out of the United States as long as they have a visa, and that the one-time fee only applies to new visa applicants.
And confusion over the immigration status of thousands of these H-1B visa holders, most of whom are, of course, Indian. Now, until now, it cost around $1,500 in administrative fees to apply for an H-1B visa, but now companies will have to pay $100,000 per employee each year that they are working under this visa.
Each year? Oh, I hope y'all paying attention to this, right? I really do hope you guys are paying attention to this.
I sought some clarification from the White House who say that this will only apply to new visa applications, not renewals or to current visa holders. And it will first apply during the upcoming visa lottery. So anyone who won their visa in this year's lottery in 2025, it won't apply to them. So those already with a visa will not have to pay this. Nonetheless, there is real concern among many of the companies who employ thousands of these visa holders, like Amazon, for example, has written to their employees saying if they are H-1B visa holders, they need to remain in the US even if they had upcoming plans to travel. And if they're outside of the US right now, they should do their best to get back into the US before that Sunday deadline. And if they can't do that, then they should stay outside of the country until Amazon has worked out how to deal with this new immigration situation. And of course, it is the tech sector that is most affected by this, but it is another example of the way this Trump administration is cracking down on immigration in new ways. Kate Fisher, NDTV, Washington.
Well, joining me right now is Ms. Kripa Upadhyay from Seattle. She's an immigration attorney. Firstly, thank you so much, ma'am, for speaking to NDTV.
Okay, so we're not going to go deep dive into it, but I would like to say that, that's crazy. I saw some videos where they had some European people. They were going online and booking flights from India, different places in India to America to stop Indians from, the ones who are trying to beat that Sunday deadline. But if you have a visa, just clarify that you're good to go. But yesterday, a lot of people weren't sure exactly what it entailed, so people were just flying back, just first thing smoking, trying to get back. But yeah, it's only to new applicants. So that's a good thing. I wonder when there's a new person in charge, like let's say if they vote a new Democrat in or whatever, will they be able to, they're not going to be able to fix this in 4 years, right? However, just as fast as he's able to strip these different laws and rights and all this, I want to see how fast it will be for them to put them back in place. Like if he could take away civil rights in 5 days, you should be able to put civil rights back in 5 days. It shouldn't take 3 or 4 years to do something that it only took him 5 days to do. All you doing is everything that was in there, put it back on the board. So yeah, so moving on. So like I said, I live out here in Houston. Uh, so let's see what they talking about on the news about this 13 body that they done found in the bayou, child.
Our top story here tonight, the bodies being found in Houston bayous. Houston police report another body was just recovered today from the Buffalo Bayou area near Jensen and East downtown. So if you've been watching and keeping track alongside us, that is 4 bodies recovered in 4 days. Today is Thursday. And sadly, a U of H student has been identified as one of the bodies recovered from the Brays Bayou area on September 15th. That's Monday. She was reported missing days before. Sherman DeSell has been covering this story for a couple of days now. And Sherman, it is scary stuff here, but just kind of fill us in on what we know so far.
Yeah, that's definitely a cause of concern for a lot of our viewers. And many have made some speculations online about something maybe more nefarious happening here, and that's understandable. Our Fox 26 count is now at 13 bodies found in Houston bayous this year by law enforcement and first responders. Remember, the 22 bayous are spread out for miles, so it's a lot of ground to cover, and that comes with tough investigations. Here's what we know. HPD confirms a male body was recovered from Buffalo Bayou on Jensen Street in Edo on Thursday. Our camera caught officers and a dive team on the scene around 3 p.m. There were reports of a man jumping into the water there. We're waiting to hear more on this. And remember when we reported 2 bodies recovered from local bayous on Monday, September 15th? One of them was identified as 20-year-old Jade Sage
Oh, she's so cute.
McKissick. She was a U of H student, reported missing on September 11th, last seen that day near the 3700 block of McGregor by a restaurant. She was a junior communications and advertising major. In a letter sent to students, the U of H describes her as a campus resident and a student employee and a friend to many in their community. We're talking about a lot of bodies in a city where many people walk, run, and bike the bayou areas every day. So we visited an area near the White Oak Bayou to see how people have been reacting to the discoveries. A lot of people are just wondering, what's the deal? HPD hasn't really given us a lot of information either. What questions do you have?
I mean, is there like somebody paying attention to these? Like, is there like more details to investigation? I don't know. It's just kind of like scary at this point. When it's that many coincidences. There's not such a coincidence that happens multiple times.
There's long-term plans and there's short-term plans. I would hope that the short-term plans are in effect and something is being done. Someone's patrolling or someone's watching over cameras or lights or anything's being done right now.
It's amazing. So they could find the guy who killed the guy who did the pow for the CEO out in New York. Y'all saw how they were able to track him down. I'm talking about from the bicycle to the restaurant to all that. And you mean to tell me it's 13 bodies and y'all can't find nothing? Not nothing? Nothing. Okay, I just don't believe it. But I think when it's somebody, this is me personally. One, we don't have to guess what race it is, 'cause right. But yeah, let's
One of the guys you just said, is anyone paying attention to these? That really brings us right back to HPD. So have we heard anything from HPD on these?
We haven't. I have been on the scene of the last 2 recoveries, hoping to hear something from public information officer. Haven't heard anything. We've reached out. They say don't anticipate hearing anything right now. We did reach out to the county forensics department, see if they'd be willing to say something. They didn't give an on-camera interview, but we are requesting more details from all of these instances, especially in the last couple of days. So hopefully we'll get some more information. But we hear what you're concerned about, wondering if it's something more that we should be paying attention to, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we'll certainly continue to ask those questions.
them people ain't got no information because don't it seem like no one's doing their job anymore? Like, don't it seem like at one point in time in life people were doing their job, even if it was a facade, it just seemed as though everything was moving. But like now, it just seems like no one's really doing their job. People are just in positions, but they're not really doing their job. It's kind of like how doctors pass it down to the nurses, and the nurses may pass it down to the LVNs, and the LVNs might pass it down to the nursing assistant, and then this nursing assistant, oh well, shit, she can't pass it down to nobody. But you get what I'm saying, you know, you know, you know. But if you know, you know. All right, now, let's look at this Afghanistan thing that I saw. Now, mind you guys, I'm looking at this when y'all looking at this, right? So, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'll be sitting around be looking on the internet all day, so I'm gonna look at it when y'all look at it. Because if I look at it before y'all look at it, then I'm not gonna want to look at it again. Because I'm gonna be like, well, I already seen this. I don't want to look at it. And then if it's like boring and I thought it was gonna be interested, then I don't wasting my time when I could just do that with y'all. You know what I mean? So it just works out if I just do this. Let's see.
Afghanistan has firmly rejected US President Donald Trump's call to retake the Bagram air base, saying that
Now, why would he want to take the base again? Mind you, I know people, right? And I know people who were deployed to Afghanistan. They were moving drugs over there.
the country's sovereignty is not up for negotiation. Responding to reports of possible talks over the handover of the sprawling facility, Afghan's Chief of Staff at the Ministry of Defense, Qari Fasihuddin Fitrat, was unequivocal when he declared, and I quote, "It is not possible to negotiate over even 1 inch of Afghanistan's soil." Foreign Minister of Afghanistan, Amir Khan Muttaqi, also dismissed Trump's claims 4 years after America's withdrawal left Bagram Air Base in Taliban hands. On Saturday, the US President said he wanted to re-establish an American presence at the base, even suggesting that Washington was talking now to Afghanistan about the matter.
They want them poppy seeds. That's all that is. They want them poppy seeds. Because that's the money. That boy, that boy. And I ain't mean that like I mean that like the money. Yeah. That was a lot of money. Them boys was moving back and forth.
Establish an American
What is going on with the thing?
We were going to keep up.
Okay, let's see.
We'll see what happens with Bug.
Why ain't that something? They muted the Afghan, I guess, diplomat or president. Ain't that about a...
We're talking to Afghanistan. It should have never been given up. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. There's no reason to give it up. I was leaving Afghanistan. I was leaving. I was the one that got it down to 5,000 soldiers, but we were going to keep Bagram, the air base. I said it yesterday, and we had an incredible...
Why does America need to be anywhere but in America? That's what's wrong. You know how when people be minding everybody else's business, and you like, that's why your home's so messed up? Because you always in everybody else's business. You could tell me everything that's going on in everybody's household, and you know your household messed up. But you don't want nobody to talk about your mess. But you okay to want to, you know what? You gotta stay away from them.
trip.
But y'all elected him president too, so.
You know, to UK, and I said it during the press conference. It's one of the most powerful runways ever built in terms of weight, length, and load. What it can take, and we just gave it up for nothing. We gave it up for nothing. There was no reason to give it up. We weren't going to leave Bagram.
Today, Taliban spokesperson Zabiullah Mujahid urged Washington to act with realism and rationality, reminding the US of its Doha Agreement pledge not to threaten Afghanistan's territorial integrity or interfere in its internal affairs. The war of words comes just a year after the Taliban staged a military...
You know, if they go back on this agreement, it's just going to be other countries are already looking as though you can't trust America, which by all means they have the right to. I would say get out and travel. If you've never traveled, please get out and travel, especially before it's too late. Because if you get out and travel, you will really see how behind America is. And I'm talking about food wise, living wise, lifestyle. Like, you would think that this is the greatest country in the world because you ain't been anywhere. But if you actually go other places and you realize time isn't really of the essence like in America, or stress really isn't there, or it's just like when you get somewhere else, you just, I don't know, you just, when you flying back to America, when you just get back in America, you're like, oh God, I'm back here. I don't know, just miserable.
Parade at Bagram, showcasing abandoned American equipment to mark their return to power. Trump, however, maintains that the Taliban may still be open to talks, insisting that, and I quote, they need things from us. While there are no formal diplomatic ties, Washington and Kabul have quietly engaged on
Y'all know Trump doing all this on purpose, right? Like, y'all do realize that he is trying to isolate everybody from America, so when they close the borders on Americans, it'll be hard for you guys to travel, right? Like, well, not y'all. I'm also an American as well, but I'm gonna be leaving soon 'cause y'all got too much going on. I don't want to get trapped in this country, so I'm just gonna be broadcasting outside. I might do a travel vlog while I'm gone because I don't know how long I'm gonna be gone. I was saying I'd be open to like 5 to 7 years. I have a couple friends who they actually like live Central America, South America, a couple in Africa. But I am, I am open to leaving America and not coming back too, except for like the visit, because it's just so much cleaner. Like, don't get me wrong, it is simpler, but I'm a country girl, so I don't necessarily. I've had, you know what? It's good to have a lot and have nothing. Well, it's good to have nothing, then have a lot, so that you can balance off and you just like, okay, well, I had nothing. I grew up with nothing. So, and then now I don't had to the point where I'm in, whatever, right? And so it's just easy for you to kind of just go back down to like a a level of appreciation, because you now realize that you can go and get those Chanel shoes or that bag or whatever you want. However, you look at it and be like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I could go and get that, but like, why? You know? You know what I mean? You got a couple in your closet anyway because you done did it. But I'm just saying, you just get to a point when you grow up and you grow out of that type of stuff. And some people don't. And it is what it is. So yeah, they need to leave these people alone.
hostage releases
Let's see what else they're talking about before I click off this video. It's only another like 2 minutes left.
and prisoner exchanges. China's foreign ministry spokesperson Lin Jian, addressing a press conference, has reiterated China's respect for Afghanistan's independence and sovereignty, saying its future must be decided by Afghans. Beijing warned against actions that fuel regional tension and called on parties to act constructively to ensure peace and stability.
China respects Afghanistan's independence, sovereignty and territorial integrity. The future and destiny of Afghanistan should be held in the hands of the Afghan people. I want to stress that stoking tensions and creating confrontation in the region wins no popular support. We urge all parties to play a constructive role for regional peace and stability.
Afghanistan's position is clear. Bagram remains under Taliban control, and any suggestion of handing it back has been firmly ruled out.
Well, it is what it is. Fight for your land. Now listen. Okay. So, y'all know the Duchess, right? What her name is? Sarah Ferguson. So, listen. Let me pull up my little slideshow real quick, y'all. Okay, y'all see my slideshow? Y'all like it? Yeah. Okay, cool. So, the Duchess. Where did I see? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, So now it's an email calling Epstein a supreme friend adds new fuel to the raw scandal. Now listen, I'm gonna play the video for y'all, but boy, I tell you what, it is just the smoke in the city just keep on coming out. This is fresh off the presses, right? This just came out this morning in London. But matter of fact, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the video first. And then if the video ain't reading like the article reading, then I'm gonna read the article. So hold on. Now my producer gotta put the damn thing down. Put it down. All right. Now hold on. Okay. Wait a minute. They ain't doing nothing but just playing some damn music. Okay. So hold on. Because I could just... Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Let's see.
Texas homeowners, if you could...
Oh, wait a minute. Let me mute that. I ain't gonna get paid. I like how they be sneaking commercials.
This front page headline, an extraordinary splash from the Mail on Sunday, who I've got to say are world class when it comes to royal stories. Fergie's Epstein lies exposed in bombshell email. Sarah Ferguson publicly apologised for taking abusers' cash and vowed to cut ties with him. Then
she took $15,000, y'all, and she said that was the worst mistake of her life. Now, mind you, $15,000 back then probably was a lot of money, and she was struggling too. So just imagine if you got the Duchess, but a former Duchess, but the Duchess on your, never mind, let me go.
Weeks later told him, I only did it to save book deals. Let's get reaction now from the editor-at-large at the Mail on Sunday, a very old friend of mine, the fabulous Charlotte Griffiths. Hello, Charlotte.
Mark, it's so nice to see you again.
It's been too long, and I owe you a bottle of champagne, but that's a long story. We'll get to that when we've got more time. Brilliant reporting from the Mail on Sunday. What are the implications, first of all, for Ferguson herself? This is not a good look, is it?
Oh, this is the worst look Fergie has ever had. The layers of duplicity and shallowness. It's just, I have to say, I've seen many a Fergie story in my time, as have you, I'm sure, as has everyone. And this is a new low.
Well, yes, so what exactly is the story here? That she claimed that she was disassociating herself with the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, but then continued her communication with him in a very sort of affectionate and glamorous way, similar to the correspondence between Peter Mandelson and Epstein back in the day.
Yes, very much. It was just as cringe. But the thing that happens is a lot of people disassociated themselves, not least Andrew, from Epstein, and then subsequently have been found to have kept in touch by sending emails. But where this Fergie situation goes so much further is that she's actually said, I'm sorry I distanced myself from you. I didn't mean any of it. I shouldn't have used the P word, by which she meant paedophile. So not only is she just staying in touch with him, so saying that she lost touch with him was a lie, but she's gone a step further and said everything I've said before was a lie, I still adore you, basically. And she refers to him as a great friend.
Is that kind of like seeing Beyoncé at that gala for Jay-Z at the table with Ivanka? Because at the end of the day, your values and your principles should still stand. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't care how... When you didn't want to go to Kanye and Kim's wedding, you didn't go. You made sure you took a picture to show the world that you didn't mess around with her. But you mean to tell me that you couldn't stay at home? But let's see how this worked out for her.
So it's mortifying.
What do you think motivated her continued and ongoing support and loyalty to...
He probably got some dirt on him. Because, you know, these men be having dirt on them. Because, you know, they said he was part of that group of people who be colonizing and stuff. He was one of their agents, is what they were saying. Do your research.
Towards this dreadful human being.
Well, what motivates Fergie and Andrew? There's only one thing, and it's money. So she wanted more money out of him. She just simply wanted more money out of him, and he did indeed pay a debt for her. And so she had to basically thank him for this. She had no choice. But ironically, she said to him, the reason I had to cast you aside was because I didn't want to lose my book deals. She writes children's helicopter books about a helicopter called Budgie. So she not only wanted the money from her book deals, but she also wanted money from the paedophile she was borrowing money from. So it's talk about having your cake and eating it. It's so unbelievably greedy. So on brand for these two, and I think this is finally the moment they're going to get kicked out of Royal Lodge. It has to be.
Wow, that's an exclusive. You think that Prince Andrew will be evicted from Royal Lodge because he's had an ongoing battle with his older brother, King Charles, about his occupation of that lavish property?
Yes, well, Andrew's error is that he's kept Fergie in there. So Fergie's living grace and favour, even though she left the royal family. She's not a working member of the royal family. She associates with paedophiles. She has her toes sucked. I mean, Princess Margaret, wrote her a
Birds of a feather.
letter saying, "How dare you send me a bunch of flowers? You're completely dead to our family," and that was decades ago.
Yeah.
So by Andrew allowing her to live in Royal Lodge, that's what's going to get him undone in this situation, I think, because they both need to be chucked.
As well as potentially losing his digs, could this story indirectly hurt Andrew as allegations continue to swirl about his association with Epstein?
Yeah, I think absolutely by association, because some of the reporting actually said that maybe Andrew encouraged her to write that letter because Andrew helped organise the deal in which Epstein paid off her debt. He had to pay an ex-member of her staff, which allowed her then to in turn consolidate her other debts. And Andrew is well known to be instrumental in that deal, consolidating her debts and helping her in that situation. So the idea that Andrew didn't know that she'd sent this letter, in fact he may even have helped her craft it, we don't know that for sure, but that's the impression I got from reading it. So yeah, by association, I'm afraid it's terrible for him.
And how do you think this news will be going down in the palace, and what will the reaction of King Charles be to these headlines?
Well, I know that they are already furious that Fergie and Andrew turned up to the Duchess of Kent's funeral recently. Not only that, but they muscled into the front of the lineup. Andrew was seen on video trying to chat to Prince William.
Cracking jokes.
Cracking jokes, trying to make sure they were in the centre of all the frames of the pictures, so they were front and centre of all the newspaper pictures, which they were. And there's a video of William trying to avoid him desperately, but Andrew just doesn't let him escape and keeps talking to him. William ends up sort of putting his hand on his nose and talking to him under his hand because he didn't even want to be seen he didn't want any lip syncing between him and his uncle. So
why would Lenore travel thousands of miles to get permission?
They know that man is a pedo. You know what I mean? Everybody know that uncle that's in the family that's a pedo, if you have one in your family like that.
2 days later, and they will be absolutely livid.
They will indeed. Look, if you're just joining us, some very sad breaking news, which is the broadcaster and journalist John Stapleton has died at the age of 79. We'll be remembering his
John Stapleton is.
Life and career as the day goes on, but a brilliant guy, a really, really great craftsman of the genre, and he'll be much missed by his family and viewers alike. Charlotte, before you go, let's have some positive news for the royal family. And the Donald Trump state visit appears to have been a triumph for absolutely everyone, except perhaps Prince Harry.
Well, yes, the Express has got a story about how Prince Harry and Meghan are furious because Trump and Charles got on so well. Clearly, Trump really likes William and actually kind of made a thinly veiled dig at Prince Harry when he gave the state banquet speech. And now there are reports that Charles could have been invited to the States for a return state visit. And, of course, the Express is reporting that the rumour mill over in Montecito in California is that Harry and Meghan are not very happy about this. Meghan famously dislikes Trump, and Trump has been very outspoken in his dislike of Harry and Meghan. I have to say, given what Harry's doing at the moment, which is very carefully trying to break his way back into the royal family with extreme caution, gentle baby steps, I think that he wouldn't say anything publicly about that. I think it's probably unlikely that he said too much privately, but I think the Express is probably right.
Ain't nothing but the devil. You just have people who are just agents of chaos. Speaking of an agent of chaos, y'all know one of Trump, the guy the czar guy over the border, you know they dropped some charges against him when Trump closed the case. Watch this here.
MSNBC is reporting tonight Trump's Department of Justice shut down an investigation into Tom Homan, according to people familiar, multiple people familiar with the probe and internal documents reviewed by MSNBC. In an undercover operation last year, the FBI recorded Homan, now the White House border czar, accepting $50,000 in cash after indicating he would help agents who were posing as business executives win government contracts in a second Trump term. It's unclear what reasons FBI and DOJ officials gave for shutting down the probe, but a Trump DOJ appointee called the case a deep state probe earlier this year, and no further investigative steps were taken, sources say. Joining us now is one of the reporters who broke this story for MSNBC, Carol Leonnig, MSNBC senior investigative correspondent. Carol, it is good to see you. Thank you for joining us with this incredible reporting tonight. Can you break down for us what you've learned?
Yes. What Ken Delaney and my colleague here at MSNBC and I learned was that in the summer of 2024, when Trump was running for office and Tom Homan was at his side on many a campaign trail event and basically publicly touting that he was going to be an important part of the president's border initiatives and in the administration, during that time, the FBI began hearing from the subject of another investigation that Tom Homan was soliciting bribes, and doing so in exchange for promises that he would eventually be in the administration and be able to deliver and influence federal contracts to help those businesses that paid him. Now, what the FBI decided to do was have a series of undercover agents approach that intermediary and also approach Tom Homan. And our sources and an internal document that we reviewed show that the FBI recorded him receiving this money in September 20th in a meeting they arranged. This is all before Trump is president, but it is really interesting because they didn't go after Tom Homan. They happened to learn from another investigation that Tom Homan apparently had this scheme of making money by offering this.
Carol, incredible reporting that you and
That's something. Somebody was in the damn interrogation. Tucker, was that you? Somebody was in the interrogation room like, listen. Now, I know y'all got me, but I got somebody better. You hear me? Let's make a deal, guys.
And Ken did there. Can you walk us through what the response has been from various officials that you have presented this reporting to, whether
ain't no damn response.
It is at the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, or perhaps even the White House? What have you been able to learn from officials in response to this investigation?
Yes, the White House very quickly got back to us about this today. Kudos to them for that. And also Kash Patel and Todd Blanche, the acting Deputy Attorney General, all issued statements to us in which they told MSNBC essentially that this was an improper investigation begun during President Biden's term, and that it was an attempt to go after a Trump ally, and they shuttered the case because they viewed it as lacking sufficient evidence to proceed. Of course, that is not at all how the FBI agents or the prosecutors working on this case viewed it.
Carol, the FBI and DOJ prosecutors took no further steps in late 2024. Why is that?
So here's the rub and the unusualness. I'm so glad you asked that question, Elise. What happens here is when Tom Homan is allegedly making a promise and recorded accepting $50,000 in cash for this alleged promise, he is not a public official. So he cannot be charged with a strict bribery crime, which is normally what you would charge someone with if they were offering to help influence contracts in office in exchange for money. So what the FBI and the Justice Department decide to do is to continue to monitor him. As soon as he is named as a likely appointee, he's a public official by dint of the statute. So they decide they're going to watch him for a while and figure out, does he deliver? Does he try to deliver on the promise? Does he ask for more money when he's a public official? Then they could charge him with bribery instead of conspiracy or fraud or conspiracy to commit bribery. They decide they should just continue their investigation. But
well, it don't even matter because they can't charge him with nothing anyway. So it is what it is. We're going to move on because I just want to show y'all that how it's just corruption right in front of our face, right? Y'all know, and it's nothing being done about it. We just got to move on. And let's see here. Oh, look at this here. So, where is this? Oklahoma.
MSNBC is reporting tonight Trump's Department of Justice shut down.
Hold on. Why is this not pulling up? I need this to pull up for y'all. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. So, let's see. Turn the volume. Hey man, I'm not gonna knock anybody for if they wanna do that for a person. But yeah, it's saying that Oklahoma State senators have introduced a bill requiring all state colleges to erect and protect statues honoring the late conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The proposal came as Trump, Vance, and other leading Republicans attended a memorial service at the 63,000 capacity State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, for the late 31-year-old podcast and activist who was killed in Utah on September the 10th. Why it matters. So the dramatic move by the supporters of the late Trump ally will spark fierce debate over free speech and institutional autonomy. The proposal represents one of the most forceful legislative attempts yet to enshrine a public figure legacy into public higher education spaces. White House flags were flown at half-staff on the day of Kirk's killing in his honor. Critics have pointed out that the same show of respect was not offered to slain Democratic Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hoffman, who was shot dead with her husband in their home in what has been described as a political assassination. The legislation introduced by the senators Sean Jett and Dana Pirto will require every institution of higher education in Oklahoma to devote a primary location on its main campus near Central Quad. Student unions are primary entrance to a memory for Kirk. That is absolute. What if they do one for him? Then they should do like one with him on one side, and then do one with like I don't know, like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. I think Malcolm X would be right. You know, and we're not comparing the two, right? But for some strange reason, I don't know, doesn't that seem just kind of weird? Like when you actually look at the stuff that Kirk had said and just the evil, like it's just when you hear somebody that just spew just evil, just evil things, and then you look at the people that praise the evilness, and you don't see how evil that is. Like you don't see like wanting people to die or be enslaved or to be murdered or hung or like wanting the worst of people. You don't see that as an evil thing. Like what godliness is that? I be looking at these people like, what is wrong with y'all? Anyway, the plaza must include a statue depicting Kirk either sitting at a table with an empty seat across from him or standing with his wife holding their children. Oh Lord, the proposal was first reported by the Guardian. Um, they want to describe him as a voice of the generation, modern civil rights leader, vocal Christian, martyr for the truth and faith, and free speech advocate. Are they serious? What is this saying? The design and size of the statues are subject to legislation overseeing and approval. The deadline for full construction. If the public schools fail to comply with the new rules, they may face financial penalties. Oh, this is going into effect. Oh shit. Additional, the colleges will be responsible for protecting the statue from vandalism. Oh my God. Oh, so you mean to tell me that they could put it? Okay, the proposal has generated swift and sharp reaction. Critics argue that treating Kirk like a historical civil rights figure as Martin Luther King is deeply problematic, and that's what they want, right? They want you to be bothered because it's something about some white people that it just bothers them that black people are just okay without interacting, needing, wanting, being around them. Like it's just something about a type of person that just feels that they just need to make other people suffer. Like, are you hurting that bad inside? Like, do you need a hug? I'm not gonna give you that hug, but I'm just saying, like, what is wrong with you that you can't just go at like if you don't like being around black people, go somewhere where there's no black people at. Easy. If you don't like dealing with black people, don't deal with black people. Like it's like you have it's like what is your point? Why? Why do you get up so mad? Damn, go on a vacation. Go somewhere. Jesus. Anyway, so they point to what they say are statements by Kirk attacking people of color and black women in particularly, arguing that his rhetoric does not align with the legacy of inclusion tied to the civil rights movement. Free speech advocates are likely to see the bill as further examples of the politicization of campus life, forcing universities to uphold a state mandated narrative. Yeah, of course. This is concern over whether public funds should be used in such a and you know what? These are public funds. I don't want my taxes going toward erecting a statue for him. I don't want to be honest. I don't want my money, my tax dollars going towards any statue. I want my tax dollars to go towards teachers, raising their salaries, putting money into the schools for the print. You know, like I want my money going towards the better education of the children in the schools and them having free lunch and a good nurse there, a good 2 or 3 nurses there, and some good teachers and school supplies and a good bus. And I want my tax dollars going towards the future generation. I don't need my tax dollars going towards statues. Don't need it. Don't need it at all. Why? We shouldn't be praising anybody anyway, right? Isn't it like against the whole biblical thing? You shouldn't be praising, idolizing anybody. So we shouldn't be raising statues to people. What are you praising people for? Get a picture. Put the picture up in your house. Carry on. Let's see here. The bill is just you know what? I'm over this. I don't really care because they just trying to do something to infuriate black people. That's really the goal. They're just trying to show you, like, you know, we will give you statues and allocate, what is allocate, you know, awards. I'll look it up later. Anyway, but we'll give you guys all of this, but we will not give you what, you know. And if they could take it from you, it wasn't really yours. It's like a car. Like if I give you a car, if I could take it back, I didn't really give you a car. I let you borrow it. You know, like but if I buy you a car and I give it to you and it's in your title and your name on it, I can't take that from you. It's yours. You can't take away something that's for somebody. You can't take away Black history if it's in them. That's why you just got to teach your children. And you teach your kids at home. You don't have to send them to white people's schools if you don't want to. You can always homeschool if you're smart enough. There's a lot of ignorant people who can't homeschool, and that ignorance has no color. It's a lot of ignorant people that can't homeschool, and that's perfectly fine. It's not really because that's how some people just like to struggle though, but I can't. Anyway, so I think that's all I really wanted to. mm, You know what? Listen. So I've been having this one little topic in my little thing, in my little I want to maybe talk about later on. But I never find a time to want to talk about it because it's just something about uh it's nah, I don't even want to talk about it. Cause it was Megan Good and Jonathan Mayers, right? Because you remember they was on the Tamron Howard show, and I was like, you know what? I don't know. I said maybe I would talk about them. But then I was like, you know what? I don't really want to talk about them people because it just seems so forced. Like I don't really think they really like each other like that, like that. Like I think it's really just contractual, really contractual, right? But anyway, um, so yeah. Oh, y'all know Drake, Lord Drake. He done came off this little fuel thing that he had with Kendrick and all that, and I guess it done kind of settled down a little bit, you know what I mean? Because Kendrick done moved on. I mean, he done sold out arenas 3, 4 times over and everything like that. Drake done canceled concerts and went to child support court and all kind of everybody having a life. Anyway, so Drake released a song with a guy named Yet, and it's called Doghouse. I haven't listened to it yet. Maybe y'all might listen to it. I don't know, but yeah. And the dude say something like "fuck a money tree, I'm a cash cow," representing Kendrick's 2012 song "Money Trees." Some people just be needing, you know what I mean? Like some people just be needing attention, you know? Like you ain't got nothing else better to do. You ain't got nothing else better to do. Like who are you? Who are you? Because I'm trying to figure out, should I talk about it? Should I not talk about it? I mean, you on the song with Drake, but that he ain't say nothing to me because he know better. You know what I mean? Because he know better. I got 5 still waiting, and you done gave me new stuff, sis. I'm just saying, whatever. Um, do you guys care about what's going on over in the Middle East, in Africa? Like, I saw on TikTok they have like a lot of different boats and stuff that are heading over to like the Gaza Strip, and they have bringing food, and they have been sending supplies, and they have been, helping the people out, which is wonderful. I hate that people consider those who understand that it's not right to starve people to death sympathizers. Hey, what do you mean I'm a sympathizer? I can't disagree with the fact that you starving somebody. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I hope that this whole war thing. I hope this all just kind of just go away. Not go away, but
Now, breaking news, Australia and Canada have just announced that they are recognising a Palestinian. Now, breaking news, Australia and Canada have just announced that they are recognising a Palestinian state. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney says Israel is working methodically to prevent the prospect of a Palestinian state, and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is also set to make a similar announcement. The declarations come ahead of a formal declaration to be made at the UN General Assembly in New York. Several other Western nations, including France, have announced similar plans as international calls grow for the implementation of a two-state solution.
this is what happened when people see that people are fighting back with their money. Now, mind you, people are out in the streets. They on the boats. They in the water. They on the streets. People are boycotting the companies. McDonald's, Starbucks, Burger King. Oh, it killed me with Burger King. Boy, I tell you. 'Cause I like me a number one.
Well, Natasha Butler is standing by in Paris, but first let's go to Sonia Gallego in London outside 10 Downing Street. And Sonia, as we wait to hear Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister's actual words, we had earlier a statement from Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy, who said any decision to recognise a Palestinian state doesn't make a Palestinian state happen overnight. It has to be part of a peace process. Well, there's no inkling whatsoever of a peace process. So the simple question is, what's the point of this? And why now?
Well, I don't think it can be underestimated exactly how symbolic this move would be. First and foremost, it is the humanitarian crisis that is central to this decision. If you remember back in July, earlier this summer, Prime Minister Keir Starmer warned that Israel, that unless it agreed to a ceasefire in Gaza, it committed to a long-term peace leading to a two-state solution and also allowed UN access in, it would recognise, the UK would recognise a Palestinian state. Well, of course, that hasn't happened. In fact, things have deteriorated so much that it's a situation in which really there has to be some form of united voice against that deteriorating situation as well. The scale of suffering is being deemed as so immense, the tens of thousands of deaths that have occurred, the attacks on infrastructure as well, the situation with the hostages that has not improved either, but the war, frankly, it's nearly 2 years that this war has been going on in Gaza.
Really, this war been going on since they invited them people over to their land.
And we've only seen an intensification of Israeli military assaults on Gaza as well. With that in mind as well, of course, we had the US President Donald Trump.
All right, well, listen, this is over on the Al Jazeera English. Y'all could go over there and finish that. I done kept y'all here long enough. It is going on 57 minutes and 39 seconds. I had y'all here too long. But yeah, and then out there in California where the man facing popped up. Out there in California they can't wear the mask anymore, so y'all can't just be coming out there snatching people without showing y'all faces. Which why wouldn't you want to show your face? You should be proud of what you're doing, right? You're doing it for the country. You should want your fellow Americans to be proud of you. Right? Right? Okay, anyway. But yeah, I do want to thank you guys. That picture, hold on now. I saw a picture. Okay, yeah, that's the one with the Kendrick and the dude distant. I don't know if that dude's white or Spanish or Asian. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I did see a picture with Trump that he was laying across the bed, and they said it was in Epstein's in his house. It was on the wall. It was a picture that he had of Trump. He said they were real good friends. Nah, let me tell you something. That Judy right there, he seemed like if you was his really good friend, y'all was into some thing. But yeah, let me close that on out of there because I don't know why that wasn't pulling up like I wanted it to pull up. But I have kept you guys here 59 minutes and 10 seconds. Oh, yeah, I know that this is it. Cause I know that I'm giving you a love. Oh, that you can resist, baby.
Move over, Denzel.